Hello, welcome back to the L1 show with friends. Today's May 24th, and we're doing business and social stories for you to enjoy and or weep to.
I don't know if this is a good sign overall. Maybe we're just getting a lull, a calm before the next storm, but the collapse section is fairly small this week.
I didn't see a whole lot of collapse this week.
However, we do have a couple.
BT to cut up to 55,000 jobs by 2030 as fiber and AI arrive. This is a little bit of bittersweet. ISPs do get sucked into just playing tech support for people a lot of the time.
Well, they had hired a lot of people to do the fiber rollout. So they just let them go when they're done. That's kind of nasty, but I guess what else are you going to do? And yeah, I don't think they've invested well. They're also getting a lot of, obviously, competition. People don't care about the stuff that they sell as much anymore.
I mean that's good. Do you need a marketing team for the water company? No.
Are they nationalized?
Yeah, BT is.
And, people obviously are not buying phones as much and they're cutting down on their phone plans. So we don't need this as much anymore.
Vodafone plans 11,000 job cuts.
Not much more to say about that one.
I don't, if we're being honest, though, the number of people that are employed for these kinds of things have always been high. I remember when we did the AT&T story about AT&T acquiring, DirecTV. It's like, why are there so many people at a media company? It doesn't take a lot of people to run that kind of operation. What do they all do all day?
Marketing.
Yeah. But
probably.
I mean, this doesn't make sense.
And like you say, support.
It doesn't make logical sense.
Now, this one I put in the collapse section, but let's be fair. This was going to happen no matter what.
Yeah.
Even if the economic situation was as beautifully rosy as it was back in the 90s when the internet was invented, this would still be happening because this is a dead technology. It's just not realized it yet.
Cord cutting hits an all-time high in Q1 as U.S. pay TV subscriptions fall to the lowest level since 1992. Yeah, who would pay for TV at this point?
Old people, and they are dying in droves.
You basically pay to be advertised to.
This
site is aggressive as well.
Is amazing. Pocketgamer.com. Now,
no, it's pocketgamer.biz.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah.
It's not even .com.
I don't actually, this is about gaming. No one cares about Netflix gaming, let's be honest. But this is the only non-paywall article I could find about what Netflix is doing in terms of the economic collapse.
Netflix reportedly plans to cut spending by $300 million. What does this mean for gaming? Talking about Netflix gaming, which no one plays anyway.
What are these ads even for? Careers
Sponsor event. Prizes for top games. Indie pitch, looks like. Maybe it's some sort of developer conference.
And down in Florida, there are two horrible, horrible things clashing together. The United States government and Disney. Who do you root for?
Who's more powerful there? I don't know.
It's hard to say. Like from week to week, it seems like there's another upper hand, right?
Yeah.
It's a great saga, though. I'm enjoying it.
Disney is scrapping plans for a new $1 billion Florida campus. This is going to be their corporate headquarters where the lawyers and the IP enforcement people and not the theme park was going to be. 2,000 people. But they said, there's the changing business climate of Florida. So they're not going to put the headquarters there.
Also, just the regular changing climate of Florida.
Now, they did sneak in some other stuff that was completely hidden by these headlines because everybody's, wrapped up in the whole DeSantis thing. They are shutting down the Star Wars stuff.
Oh, yeah. I had some people tweet me that this week.
And they're shutting down a couple of hotels that are not included in this thing. So they're feeling it. They're feeling the bite.
Well, who has $5,000 to go stay at a Star Wars hotel?
The Star Wars hotel is going into the vault for exclusivity.
Yeah.
Everybody that has that $5,000 has already done it, and they're not going back.
Right.
Overall, they have to lose money on that, right? Could they have made back their investment in that short amount of time?
I mean, I wouldn't think so, but I mean, it's Disney.
They do have some crazy prices.
Yeah.
I think the blue, like the blue stuff that Skywalker drank in the movie, I think one of those is like $12.
Wow.
A lot of people didn't like the new movies, from what I understand as well.
Yeah.
And so it's like, is it going all in on that investment? Was that wise? I don't know. I guess they still sold well. People still watched them. So
And we have some more obscure hardware companies who are unfortunately just not going to be able to make it work in the new world.
This is not that obscure. Drobo, having stopped sales and support, reportedly files for Chapter 7 bankruptcy. Company had posted in January that it had transitioned into a self-service model. So Drobo used to be the original, like you just stick in a bunch of hard drives, you stick it on your desk and you're good to go. It's like the original home server for normies kind of thing. It's sad to see them go. They had some clever ideas. They just didn't transition, keep up with the times.
And Google is finally going to do it. They have threatened the advertising world. You're either going to be on Google's plan or we're going to crush you. Apple, of course, already did this, but when Google does it, it's going to affect a lot more of the world.
Google will disable third-party cookies for 1% of Chrome users in Q1 of 2024. That's just 2.5 quarters away. If you're in an ad agency.
Yeah.
Or you could be asleep at the helm, as is the case most of the time when we're talking about ad agencies.
Why 1%? Because this is going to break a lot of functionality, not just for advertising, for a lot of stuff. It is a real pain. And YouTube is, like all these companies, trying to squeeze whatever they can out of the consumer.
YouTube is bringing 30-second unskippable ads to its TVs. This is also not long after experimenting with the thing to say, hey, we've detected you're using an ad blocker. Stop it.
That's just for the TV app. Just watch it on the web browser in the TV.
They're also letting you pause
ads. Yeah.
Because there have been cases where it's like, okay, I would be willing to watch an ad, but I can't pause it. So I was just going to be playing while I go do something else.
Well, they also have a new technology here where when you pause the video, not the ad, you will get an ad. And so your video will downsize over here and you'll get an interactive ad. How exciting.
We're just going back to the days of Flash. Ugh.
YouTube is also apparently getting a little tired of hosting all of our content for free. They're looking at a way of maybe shaving off some of the older stuff.
Google's new inactive account policy won't delete years of YouTube videos. Google is going to wipe out old accounts, but not old ones with YouTube videos. So this was some confusion. Google announced they were going to get rid of old things like their old Blogspot accounts and that kind of thing.
Stuff that hadn't been logged into for
Gmail,
years.
pretty much your whole account.
Google has no problem monetizing old videos. They can put new ads on old videos. That's no problem at all. And so, of course, those aren't going away. But other content that they host that they are not monetizing is a bit of a problem.
But will they delete that account and just assign the videos to the
anonymous
generic
user
YouTube account?
Well, I mean, who knows? Who can say? Is an account you can't log into deleted? Does a tree fall in the tree that falls in the forest make a sound? No one's around.
Have you guys tried Tears of the Kingdom yet?
I haven't.
Neither have I. People are hyped about it, it seems. And as usual, the Nintendo crowd they're big like pre-orders, bandwagon type of folks. So this is not that shocking.
Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom sells 10 million copies in 3 days. It's been a bit of a roller coaster ride with the ratings. It had absurdly positive reviews, and then the reviews were down, and then the reviews were back up again. And now they're kind of settling out. The big complaints seem to be that there's really not a lot of visual revamping. It's the same map as Breath of the Wild. Not a lot of things have changed with the weapon breaking mechanic.
Yeah, a lot of the complaints I've seen have been just like, this is not really that much new content. Like, I finished the game in a few hours. So, and it's $70.
Just wait and play it in 2 years. It'll be cheap. And Alibaba, they, of course, have given in to the CCP. They are not going to try to compete with the government on the digital currencies, and they're going to break up their business to not be the monolithic monopoly that they certainly probably were.
Alibaba to spin off its cloud AI and business messenger unit. That makes sense. This is a good move. We kind of predicted this. They've made motions that they were going to do this, so this isn't really much of a surprise.
That'll be the first one to get spun off. And Steam has the refund where you can get, was it 4 hours? If you play less than 4 hours, you can refund. In most cases, no questions asked. They are maybe just annoyed with how the financial transactions have to go back and forth there because it gets used so much. So they're going to do it in a way that makes a little more sense, maybe.
Steam now offers 90-minute game trials, starting with Dead Space.
It's like the demo disc from back in the day.
Yeah, this is a lot more than, this makes a lot more sense.
Is this a remake of Dead Space, or is this one of those situations where they made a new Dead Space and just called it Dead Space again?
It's a remake.
I never played the Dead Space games, did you?
No. Well, I mean, a lot of people liked it. It was decent. I had read that the remake was really just a texture pack, but apparently it is actually a remake. So I don't know.
Someone will tell us in the comments. Actually, they'll probably argue in the comments about which one's right.
There was a lot of people that really passionately liked it. It's just like, it's a new genre, a new approach to gaming. It's like,
Well, this was interesting. The Verge, they are very much on one side of this, but after I read it, I was like, well, that does seem like they're giving you options. I think I would prefer this because I don't want any of your garbage extra services, but apparently Allison Johnson does.
Verizon's new plans make sense to nobody except Verizon. A new way for Verizon to make money off you has just appeared. And the way that they're going to make money off you is by not making money off you in other ways.
So instead of having everything bundled in your plan, you can strip it down to just the data service and the phone service and then add things back on. Her complaint is that if you rebuild your plan, you will very quickly go far beyond what the bundle was worth.
Yeah.
So I could live without it.
I remember in the olden days, I think it was Verizon. This is 10 years ago, probably. You could get a data only plan and it was like $20 a month and you could still do text messages with that. And that was great. And then everybody wanted that. And so they made it impossible to get that. And once again, no antitrust. It's like, why was this popular? Why were you making money at $20? And then all of a sudden now it's $100. Like, what changed?
Allison didn't care about unlimited data, but did care about Disney Hulu. That's like, wow, Allison, I don't know. We're on different sides of the planet here. And Sam Altman, he has certainly been in the news. He's probably like the current media darling, right? He represents the future.
We should have covered his congressional testimony because if you want...
We're covering it.
Is it in the business section?
I think it's an AI.
Oh, it's an AI. Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe. I do remember putting it in there. Sometimes, though, they get lost. I think when I'm clicking, I'm going to come up with a better solution for that. Anyway, Sam Altman is not just the leader of OpenAI. He has his own cryptocurrency. And oh boy, is it dystopian.
What is Worldcoin? ChatGPT, Sam Altman, Ethereum-based crypto venture. This is an article about that.
So Worldcoin is designed not to be another cryptocurrency. This is designed to be the cryptocurrency that is the universal income cryptocurrency. So when Sam Altman's creation destroys the economy and puts us all out of work, he wants us to get Worldcoin as the way to, like our stipend, our survival stipend.
Why is he a media darling exactly?
Well, it gets worse than that because how do you confirm who you are on the Worldcoin network? Iris scans. Yeah.
This person's unreal.
Can't wait to talk about the testimony.
Yeah.
And the anti-piracy people, that's all on autopilot. That's at this point, it's probably just AI doing everything, including filing the legal stuff. And it's hilarious when they accidentally target one another.
Anti-Piracy outfit wipes Ace's Watch Legally page from Google. So one anti-piracy outfit took over a domain name of a pirate site and said, here's where you can get this stuff legally. And another anti-piracy outfit took that page down.
Because their automated system, what happens is it creates a redirect.
Yeah.
So their automated system tried to hit a thing that it discovered before, got redirected to the Watch Legally page, and then filed a takedown for the Watch Legally page. And it worked because nobody checks.
Yeah.
And the new Pixel phone came out. A lot of people were happy to get it, and then they were unhappy because of this.
Google rolls out fix for Pixel battery drain issue. A recent Google app update caused some phones to overheat. Yeah, it's because it was just in the background, spinning its wheels the entire time.
Glad I didn't get a Pixel.
What if we had control over our updates?
That Galaxy S8 that I replaced the battery in, I also de-Googled it and installed the latest Android, which is not sanctioned by Samsung. And it runs great, and it's the latest version of Chrome and everything. and the battery life is unbelievable. It lasts, no joke, 3 days. Whereas before, you'd have to charge it every night. What was it doing in the background?
Getting updates for all those stupid apps it starts with.
Now, I have been using Bing a little bit just because Windows 11 insists on opening the email stuff there. And I'm like, oh, okay, whatever. I don't care. This is just something I need to open from email. It's not that important. And then I'll get wrapped up into it's like searching for things on it, forgetting that I'm not using Google. And all these people talking about how Bing is better now. No.
No, it's not.
It is not. It is terrible. It's shockingly bad. For some reason, when you search for anything about programming, Bing floats everything Stack Overflow to the top. You cannot find anything but Stack Overflow in Bing. Maybe that's the AI doing that.
The blind leading the blind.
But it's terrible, and they should be punished for it.
Microsoft wants Firefox to make a Bing its default search engine. Why? Because AI, ChatGPT.
Now, Firefox gets a pretty penny from Google in order to keep that as the default. Will Microsoft pony up enough money? Maybe they'll offer them some AI. And I think usually I will see these before somebody posted in the Discord or whatever. Krista sends it because she's got her finger on the pulse of this, obviously. Yeah. This one I did not. I think people are done with Overwatch.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody cares anymore.
Overwatch 2's PvE hero mode is being scrapped, and Blizzard explains what happened and why.
Please go easy on us.
Because Overwatch 2 was just a monetization patch. It was not a new game. They don't care about you. They've locked heroes behind the battle pass. Please pay them money, please.
But the whole reason for Overwatch 2 was PvE.
That's what they said. And now they're like, well, we just don't think we can hit that road mark anymore.
If they would have added this, would you have tried it?
I probably would have tried it, yeah. I didn't care for 5v5 PvP when I tried it in the beta, and then I never installed Overwatch 2 after that. So
I would say that we could bring Overwatch back, like Overwatch Classic, but Blizzard really crapped all over everybody that brought Blizzard Classic or WoW Classic back. So,
yeah, I
mean, really just crapped all over them.
Can someone just rebuild it in like Gmod? Just play a custom game.
Why not just make a new game with the same mechanics?
Let's resurrect Team Fortress, the original Team Fortress.
Well, Team Fortress is still going strong.
Yeah, people still play Team Fortress. There was GIFs of like the Team Fortress characters beating on Overwatch characters this week. That was really funny.
That is amazing because not only did they out-survive the first game, now they're going to out-survive the second one.
Yeah.
And continuing to destroy the things that Krista loves, although maybe not. Maybe this could be the good one. We don't know.
It's Amazon. Amazon secures LOTR rights for a new MMO open world game. There's actually already a Lord of the Rings MMO, Lord of the Rings Online. I haven't played it, but a lot of people say there's a lot of great like lore details in it, and it's actually not bad. It's just old.
Now we do have the survival crafting Lord of the Rings games. Who's making that?
I don't. Some smaller dev, I think. I know who you're talking about. The Moria game. But Amazon doesn't have a great track record for game development. Nor TV development, apparently. So
I'm still stuck on Team Fortress, outliving all those games. What if Team Fortress is still here in 1,000 years like chess?
Now, this is going to be...
That's the only game that survives. It's just Team Fortress.
What age is the TV show?
Lord of the Rings?
Right.
Oh, the Rings of Power show? It feels like it was designed for people who are like 13.
No. The ages that Tolkien had in the canon. Like the second age, the third age.
Yeah. There's 3.
So this is going to be third age.
Okay.
Not related to the TV show, not related to the movies.
So probably War of the Rings.
Totally different characters.
Yeah. What else is there to do in the Shire?
Smoke that leaf.
There's not a lot of history for the Shire. The Shire doesn't even exist until toward the end of the third age.
Yeah, it feels like there wasn't anything, there's nothing in the Shire that's thousands of years old that they go to. And it's
mean, they could do stories in Gondor or Rohan or the elves, but...
If it's going to be a big open world game, they probably have all that, right?
Yeah. That's how the current old school game works. Like they have all the different factions and stuff.
Well, if you want to get a new video card to play all these exciting new games that are just terrible, maybe you want to play a little Tears of the Kingdom. Don't emulate it.
Never.
They go get some lower price, and by lower price we mean they just didn't raise the price this time.
Nvidia introduces the 399 RTX 4060 Ti and the 299 4060 without introducing a price hike. Although the performance graphs that they show that there's not much of a performance hike either.
But you do get those new 40 series boosts.
They're coming in July, so you get the more expensive card first, and I think that's to try to as an answer to AMD's card, which is available now and 8 gigabytes and cheaper.
And Apple also adding some hot new hardware coming soon. We don't know all the details, but it seems like maybe they're going to beef it up because they got those new smaller transistors.
Apple's M3 Pro chipset could feature 12 CPU cores. The first M3 chips will reportedly arrive later this year. Apple. More like poison apple.
And Apple, you know, they have to make sure that they build these devices for as little as possible because, you know, they're rock bottom pricing. And Foxconn...
They're just really struggling with money at Apple, too.
Foxconn, for the long time, has been their darling. They are good at making these products. They do it quickly. They do it with minimal self-destruction. I can't say the word.
Oh.
You know, I just don't even think
They didn't even have to put nets up for them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right. Well, they did. But they were willing to put the nets up. They're like, listen, Apple, we're so committed to making iPhones, we're going to put nets on our building because we're not going to make things better for the people. That would hurt your bottom line. But we'll put the nets up. But it wasn't enough.
Foxconn to lose top-tier iPhone assembly allocation for the first time. What does Apple know about where Foxconn is located and the labor market there that we don't?
But Luxshare is taking over. They're also Chinese, aren't they? Maybe not.
I'm not sure.
Philippines? Maybe?
It's tough time to be a Foxconn employee. They are not going to need you. And when it comes to, you know, everything being fake, this one is more about accessibility and stuff, but everybody gets it, and I'm sure they're going to use it for the wrong purposes.
iPhones will be able to speak in your voice with 15 minutes of training.
No, thank you. Do not consent.
Apple's new accessibility features can assist those who've lost the ability to speak or who are blind or have low vision. I think part of the security feature here is that you have to read their paragraph, like their thing of text, in order to train it, which maybe will head off some of the fraud.
Oh, come on.
No.
Oh, you're insane. Well, how does blind or low vision stop me from talking?
I'm not sure.
I don't understand why you would need that.
Someone will be able to probably shed some light on that, but I don't want a machine taking my voice. Do I look like Ariel? No.
It's not the first time a machine took my voice. The first time was when they submitted complaints to the FCC on my behalf, and it was all lies.
There needs to be a version of the iPhone, but it's like dressed up like Ursula, and it's singing "Those Poor Unfortunate Souls."
Ariel at least got legs in exchange for
yeah.
it. You don't get
anything for that.
And HP, it seems like the printer companies are in a, like, I think they have a secret bet, and it's like, who can abuse the customers the most and still get away with it?
I'm surprised that Lena Khan's phone didn't explode about this one.
I gotta think this pulls them into the, like, the other companies done basically this thing, but HP is just, all the pretenses are gone.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, you will buy our products or you will suffer.
HP disables customers' printers if they use ink cartridges from cheaper rivals. And what was surely a 4-alarm siren to the FTC not even 5 years ago. Haven't really seen the FTC pipe up and say, hey, that sounds like you're interfering between the commerce of two other people. You need to stop that.
How can you, on one hand, be like, as the American government, we support right to repair, and then let this happen?
Yeah.
It's crazy. I imagine that the economics just aren't there because we don't need printers anymore. I mean, rarely do we need printers for most people. But couldn't some little scrappy startup company come and be like, yeah, we're just doing a basic printer?
There are some open source printers out there, but they're not fabulous yet.
They don't need to be. Just got to print, bro.
Even, I think it was it Brother? Maybe I'm sure the comments will correct me, but there was a firmware update for Brother recently where you have to roll back in order for it to support third-party cartridges.
Let's do a level 1 prediction. How long before the first murder comes from this?
About a week.
I'd say a month.
Wow, that's like optimistic for you.
Well, what's your estimation?
I would give it a week.
Oh, okay. We're going to be able to settle this bet quickly.
Ars Technica's headline is Bluetooth tags for Android's 3 billion strong tracking network are here. Third-party Bluetooth trackers are plugged into Google's massive Find My Device network. Oh, yeah. They're going to find the victim.
Yeah.
We've already seen AirTags, and AirTags have a much smaller network. The number of Android phones is so much more than the number of iPhones. This is just going to be even worse. Also, these are third-party products. So, whereas Apple rolled theirs back just a little bit, not really much,
yeah.
But Google, I mean, these third-party companies won't. Just be like, no, we like it. Get stalked.
Ugh.
And here's a crazy idea that I feel is going to get traction. But once again, you know, it's two monsters fighting, so let's just enjoy the show.
Exclusive. Telcos draw up proposal to charge big tech for EU 5G rollout.
So they say if you cause 5% of the traffic, you owe them money. So a Facebook, a Google, obviously a TikTok, they're going to have to pay for you to be able to visit their websites.
I think these companies, the tech companies, should get together and say, okay, what's your IP address range? Yep. We're going to redirect our customers to a web page that says your ISP doesn't want us to sell to you. Problem solved.
Yeah.
Or
Spectrum doesn't support TikTok. Here are some alternatives in your area.
Yeah. Problem solved.
what if they team up and they're like, what if we could find a way to make the citizen pay for this?
Well, I mean, it's going to get passed on to you, right?
Right.
If like the products are just going to get more expensive, they're not going to eat that cost. Here's a fun feature. However, I don't like the idea of like this is probably going to be stored on the cloud somewhere without my permission or whatever, you know.
To train an AI.
Google will soon let Pixel phones double as dash cams.
Now they've not announced this, but this is in one of the preview builds, and someone has ferreted it out and actually got it working.
Oh.
They say it's pretty full featured.
I think it's meant to work with some kind of a dash mount for your phone, where it's
Yeah. Up on the
But
thing.
you'd have to have that.
yeah.
And
It's just sliding around on your dash while you're driving.
here in good old central Kentucky, I am astonished to be able to get 2 gig internet, which is not really 2 gig internet.
Oh, they're doing a thing this weekend. It's going to be a big change. Your latency is going to be a lot better.
We'll see. We'll see about that.
We've had the Spectrum guys out at our house.
Can they stop just randomly disconnecting
No.
every 2 or 3 days? But one thing about the 2 gig that I've found, which again is not totally 2 gig, maybe it will be after this weekend. I don't believe it. The server on the other end has to be able to give you that much bandwidth. No one will. Almost no one. So I imagine that you have to have a very specific use case here.
Google Fiber puts out a call to test 20 gig internet service. So they're going to offer this to businesses, organizations, apartment buildings, they said, other it's really for business customers, but other organizations that might need 20 gig internet service. So is there a call for that? How does that work?
Yeah, it's the machine learning high frequency traders. They will love that. They will pay any price for that.
The Wi-Fi at the church really needs that 20 gig connection when we get all the people packed in here. It's like, wait, shouldn't they be paying attention to the...
They're all watching TikTok.
Oh.
The guy who was testing it, I don't know how many, I think it was a World Cup. I don't know how many concurrent World Cup games there are, but this guy said he could stream every one of them at 4K and it didn't even tax his bandwidth at all.
Wow.
Nice.
And the obviously the economic downturn means that people are keeping things longer, like cars and electronics and phones. So that means they're going to be fixing them more. And maybe Logitech is seeing the writing on the wall.
Logitech partners with iFixit for self-repairs. Official spare parts, batteries, and repair guides for select Logitech hardware will be available through iFixit starting this summer. I noticed that the pattern for the Logitech mice, I've always been a fan of the MX mice. They were insanely high, and then the quality went way down, like the buttons and the wheels weren't really good. And then the quality of the buttons and stuff came back up, but then the finish wears. And so now we're like an original MX. It looks exactly like the day it was when it was new, Whereas the new ones, like the plastic has gotten weird and shiny, but it still functions good. I think that's their play. It's like the mouse will still work and still be good. It's just going to pick up all your hand stains and your hand nastiness a lot more.
Cheeto dust.
Some of that might be the environmental lobby, though, right? Like that old plastic was probably like doesn't deteriorate even if it falls into the sun.
We put the blood of 1,000 ferrets into this mouse so that it can live.
This will still be here when at the heat death of the universe kind of plastic versus now, I probably have to make it a little bit more biodegradable.
And by biodegradable, just, disintegrates into microplastics after a few years.
Just burst into microplastics. And IBM is not one of the leaders in the AI. Poor old Watson. He was the face of AI for so long.
Like Ask Jeeves to the search engine.
Kind of like that, yeah. But they're trying to get back, and they do have one feather in their cap, which is their quantum computing.
IBM and Google commit to $150 million in quantum computing research.
It's going to go to the University of Chicago and the University of Tokyo. They're looking for big innovations from those two places. I would not go to Chicago for my hopes and dreams for my company. A little bit too much of a geopolitical risk there. I put this in here. Maybe we shouldn't even advertise this, but it is a hardware thing and it happened this week, but don't do this.
Amazon just dropped 4 new Echo devices under $100, including a $40 smart speaker and $50 earbuds.
Why would
Available for pre-order now. We didn't get paid for this.
Why would you need Echo earbuds? There's the cheapest one. And then you got this one.
Wouldn't that first one just kind of roll around, or is it like flat on the bottom?
The flats. Yeah,
okay.
The base is flat. You could make it roll if you wanted to, maybe. Here's
Amazon Echo for kids.
And then the buds. I don't even know what. Is Alexa in the buds?
Ugh. She whispers in your ear, I like the taste of your earwax.
It'd be fun if you had 2 AIs, one in each ear.
You'd listen to both of them talk to you.
And this goes along with the battery stuff, right? Big battery announcement. Oh, it's amazing. Oh, we got propulsion in space that we can do with electricity or electromagnetic fields. It's going to be the future of everything. And it doesn't ever play out, does it?
Replication of high temperature superconductor comes up empty. Researchers have created the same material, but they don't see any signs of the unusual behavior previously reported.
I think based on what we've learned, we can chalk this up to the fact that scientific research and papers are just fake anymore.
Yeah.
You can say whatever you want until somebody checks it out. And when did we first start talking about this? A year ago?
Yeah.
Well, it takes a while to try to replicate it.
At this point, your startup has been funded and failed. So,
and you've got out with your golden parachute.
Yeah.
It's a grift.
And we have the big Apple developer conference coming up. There are several trademarks that they're doing that is tipping their hand about what we might see.
Apple registers XROS watermark ahead of Worldwide Developer Conference headset unveiling.
That stands for, I've already forgotten what the X stands for.
Extra reality.
But yeah, that's basically what it is. It's going to be all the augmented reality stuff that we're going to get. And we've already learned that this is basically iOS with some small changes. And we might not have futuristic batteries, but we do have batteries that are looking to explode. And in some places, that can be very dangerous.
Rising number of lithium battery incidents on airplanes worry pilots and flight attendants.
The couple of, stories here about that, of what happened. One was a vape.
Yeah.
Woman had a vape in her bag, and all of a sudden, the cockpit's full of smoke. Apparently, they just have a bucket of sand on hand. They're prepared for this.
There was a lot of signs. I mean, it's been a few years since I've flown, but there were a lot of signs in the airport. I guess that was 2019 about like vaping devices and batteries. And
here's the crazy thing, the most terrifying about this. Now, there are a lot of flights happening every day, so it's statistically, this is still pretty low, but one event per week on average of batteries exploding in planes. This I find so appealing.
Yes.
Imagine right now there's no gaming, but you can early adopt this, and apparently it works.
Augmented reality laptop ditches the screen for a 100-inch virtual display. This would be amazing.
This is all we've got in terms of mock-up. But look how cool that is.
That is quite the battle station.
And it could just wherever you are.
Yeah.
You could be on the bus as long as there's some empty space somewhere.
You could be on a plane and you're just like harassing the person in the seat next to you.
The form factor that I want is those old school flip up sunglasses so that I can, I'm just wearing the sunglasses all the time and I flip them down and there's my screens.
Imagine like on an airplane, for example, it's going to be difficult because like there's no place in front of you, right? So the ceiling will be like you'll recline and you'll use the ceiling as your empty space. They'll start putting ads up there.
Oh,
So when you shut it down, the first thing you see is like, oh, Virgin Mobile.
oh, great. Thank you.
And we have the usual anti-TikTok fervor running, and we have another whistleblower who claims what we already knew.
Ex-ByteDance exec claims that CCP maintained access to U.S. data. Yeah, well,
Is anyone surprised?
we said that the whole time, even when there were articles that were like, no, look, that's been restructured. It's like, no, it's not.
Now, ByteDance disputes all of this, obviously. They say this guy didn't even work on TikTok. He worked on something else that they were building. But
I don't know. They're just like, no, he goes to another school. We don't know
I can't
him.
remember what the name of the thing was. I was working on something they canceled. But yeah, he pretty much tells the same story that we've heard all along, which is the CCP has a backdoor. They log everything.
Oh, you don't even need a back door. It's just like we ship offsite backups to China. It's like, okay, well, does somebody take the backup that gets shipped to China and then do something with it after that? You don't know, but there's access to it.
The other thing he claimed, which is totally believable, is you know how often YouTube Shorts still have the TikTok logo because people just grab it off TikTok and put it on YouTube? He claimed that in ByteDance there was an official program where they would scrape everything off the other social media sites and repost it with fake accounts.
Wow.
Nice. Fake it till you make it.
They've made it. And Reddit is currently embroiled in a not safe for work controversy. Should we have the nudes or should we not?
Reddit will allow users to upload not safe for work images from desktop. That's the compromise that they settled for.
I didn't realize you couldn't do that before.
Yeah.
Apparently it's just a phone. What difference does that make?
Yeah, I don't understand. I was confused by that too, and I couldn't find any information about why they think that's better. But
Technical oversight.
They will also limit the API. So I imagine there's third-party sites that just pull in all those free nudes. What a great business model, huh?
The API, I think it was actually limited around the time Elon Musk announced that they were charging so much for their API. I literally think the execs inside Reddit were like, wait, we can
do
charge
that?
for that?
Yeah.
No, we talked about that. That was for the full thing.
Yeah.
But even that will not get
Yeah.
not safe for work content because they don't want you repurposing their treasured nudes. And this is a follow-up from a story that we did. There was a YouTuber
several years ago.
I don't know how long ago it was, but crashed his plane, and everybody was like, oh, wow, that's amazing that you had to crash your plane. Turns out he did it on purpose. How do we know? Well, we know based on what he did afterwards.
Santa Barbara County man who deliberately crashed airplane for YouTube video admits to obstructing a federal investigation. So he's not pleading guilty to the plane crash. He's just pleading guilty to obstructing the...
No, he admitted it.
Oh, he did?
Yep.
Well, he's pleading guilty to obstructing the federal investigation because he faces maximum of 20 years in prison.
So what happens in this kind of situation? When you crash a plane, what you have to do is you have to go to the FAA and say, I crashed a plane. Here's where I think it is. I promise I'm not going to touch it. Then eventually they'll go and collect it and do their study. He did something else. What he did was hire a helicopter to haul the plane to a hangar where he cut it apart with a welder and threw it in tiny pieces into the hangar dumpster. So he's going to get busted for that.
Yeah.
He has lost his pilot's license as well.
Well, it's not too surprising.
Fun times. Harsher punishment than anybody in Wall Street has ever faced.
All they did was crash the economy.
All right. We'll see you guys on Friday for nonsense and AI. Bye.